Are things around you looking bleak? What is the situation around you looking like? Are things around you looking as if nothing good would come out of it? Have you endured hardship for long? Has your life been defined by suffering? You need not to keep worrying. Stop looking at what the situation is looking like. Don't be taken over by the present happenings. Don't give up because of what you are seeing. Don't be discouraged by the result you are seeing. It won't take time for you to see things taking a new desired turn. You need to understand that everything takes time to grow and achieve the desired result. You don't sow seed now and expect to take the harvest immediately. You don't invest and get profit immediately. Everything works with the law of time. There is seed time and harvest time. There is a time to plant and a time to reap. A child who is born today doesn't become mature, and nor does the child start working immediately. The child would take time to grow and would keep growing till the child becomes mature. Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1 and 11. There is a season, a time appointed for everything, and a time for every delight and event or purpose under heaven. He has made everything beautiful and appropriate in its time. He has also planted eternity, a sense of divine purpose in the human heart, a mysterious longing which nothing under the sun can satisfy except God. Yet, man cannot find out, comprehend, grasp what God has done, His overall plan from the beginning to the end. When you don't understand that life is in stages and what you are seeing now is only a picture or scratch of what God has prepared for you, you would end up putting yourself under pressure or be tempted into engaging in acts and conduct that don't bring glory to the name of God. In the walk with God, patience is a necessity. God is never in a hurry to do anything. Remember, He never created man and woman together. He first created the man, and there was the need for a woman. He had the power to command everything to appear on the very first day, but He didn't. He kept doing one creation or act per day. It took Him 7 days to create the world and not 1 day or 1 moment. You need to be patient as you want with God to reach your expected end. Impatient and looking at the present situation have caused many to lose their place in destiny and in life. One such person is King Saul. 1 Samuel 13, verse 8 through 14. Now Saul waited 7 days, according to the appointed time which Samuel had set. But Samuel had not come to Gilgal, and the people were scattering away from Saul. So Saul said, "Bring me the burnt offering and the peace offering." And he offered the burnt offering, which he was forbidden to do. As soon as he finished offering the burnt offering, Samuel finally came. Saul went out to meet and to welcome him. But Samuel said, "What have you done?" Saul said, "Since I saw the people were scattering away from me, and that you did not come within the appointed time, and that the Philistines were assembling at Michmash, therefore I said, now the Philistines will come down against me at Gilgal. And I have not asked for the Lord's favor by making supplication to Him. So I forced myself to offer the burnt offering." Samuel said to Saul, "You have acted foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of the Lord your God, which He commanded you. For if you had obeyed, the Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever. But now your kingdom shall not endure. The Lord has sought out for Himself a man, David, after His own heart. And the Lord had appointed him as leader and ruler over His people. because you have not obeyed what the Lord commanded you. In his rush, because people were about to leave and it looks like the enemies would come and slay them, he committed abomination by offering burnt offerings he wasn't meant to do. Through this act, the kingdom was taken away from him and given to someone who was after the heart of God. His impatience and over the consciousness of what seems to happen next made him make a mistake. He was meant to keep waiting on God because God was probably working for victory without him in the camp of the enemy, but he refused to wait. Abraham almost missed it because he and the wife were almost taken by impatience. Though what he did has left us with people who are hungry and ready to spill blood, terrorism. He was pushed and encouraged by his wife Sarah to sleep with her slave so that they can have their heir, since God has not given her any child yet. Abraham gave in, and Ishmael was given birth to, who was not originally in the calendar and agenda of God, and we are left with the consequences now. Men existed who didn't give in to the happening around them, but kept their faith and believed that the situation around would change and God would indeed visit them and turn things around, and their faith didn't fail. One of such people is Joseph. He had a dream, and when he informed his brethren about it, they hated him. It didn't stop him from believing what God has shown him. He was sold into slavery, and even there, the wife of his master presented herself to him. Another person would have taken the opportunity to earn her favor and love and remain in the house, but he knew that wasn't where God is or what God showed him. He was sent to prison, and from there, God raised him and took him to the throne. What he showed him from the beginning. Someone who isn't patient at what is happening around and found himself in the shoes of Joseph would have compromised to change things around by himself and would miss out on what God planned for him. David was also a man who didn't look at the situation but left everything for God to paddle it for him. He was face to face with killing the person that sought to kill him, but didn't take it as such because he knew God was changing the situation around by himself. He knew it was a sin for him to kill the anointed of God, and with time and perseverance, God did lift him and gave him the throne of the person who wanted to kill him. David was such a man that exercised patience. Another person would have said, yes, God has finally delivered my enemy into my hand and I would kill him. He didn't do so. Job was another man who the situation looked worse and kept deteriorating. He lost all he owned, both human and resources. His wife advised him to cause God and die. His friends came, and instead of comforting him, they were confronting him. A person who doesn't understand the things of God would have quickly done what the wife said, but he didn't take all that was said, and God showed up and changed the situation around for the good of all. There is a reward for patience. There is a common saying that the patient dog eats the fattest bone. Stop torturing yourself because of what is happening. It won't be forever. Have you been nursing a sick loved one? Have you been left without finance? Has the condition in your home turned from bad to worse? Have you been facing persecution at the workplace? What have you been doing about it? How have you been handling it? What alternative are you thinking of adopting? You need not to look for any solution outside of God. You need not to join any gang or group that doesn't teach what God says as the solution. You just need to stay glued to God. It all for a moment. The season is phasing out, and it would be for your good. God hasn't forgotten you. You are precious to Him. He has you in mind. He has good plans for you. Don't miss your timing. Don't engage yourself with people who would take you out from God. He would come through for you. Like Hannah, He would turn the barrenness around. Like Joseph, He would take you to the throne. Like Job, and the fortunes would turn to your favor. Like Naomi and Ruth, He would bring the right man that would turn your life around. You would soon see it and celebrate.